Hello and welcome once again to the Hornby Magazine Workshop. Today you join myself and Mike here on our Great Central Theme test track with the latest version of Hornby's Class 56. So Mike, it's not a brand new model, it's a reiteration.
Yeah, that's right. So the 56 has been part of Hornby's range in this general form we see here since 2000, very late 2007, the first versions came out. Actually, in Hornby Magazine issue number 8, we cover the first release of this new version that's here. But what they've done is they've gone back and they've updated a few things inside and given us a updated version with a 21-pin decoder socket and a couple of changes to the circuit board inside as well.
Has that made the difference to the model? Has it future-proofed the model?
I suppose in some respects yes, and in some respects no. It's nice they've gone over to the 21-pin socket because it is a more user-friendly type socket than the 8-pin. It's much neater as well, so you've got no trailing wires lying around inside your loco and things like that. But on the counter to that, with the 21-pin socket, you also get the option to add more features to a model as well because it's got more output space. That's the advantage of a 21-pin over an 8-pin. But with this loco, we've got the same single function control of the head and tail lights, so they're all controlled by function 0. Another little problem I noticed with it as well is there are no speaker tabs on the main PCB in the loco. It's not an end of the world scenario because there are ways around it, but most 21-pin sound decoders don't come with flying leads attached to speaker to. Some of the ESU decoders do, but most don't, which means you've either got to solder direct to your decoder board or to the pins on a 21-pin circuit board to take a feed off for your speaker.
So in layman's terms, you would have to solder anyway. However, this is just a slightly more difficult way of soldering.
Yes, it's much finer tolerance that you've got to work to with soldering. When you've got a pair of speaker tabs on a circuit board, it's as easy as going solder, job done. With this, you've got to be much more careful about where you put the solder, but it is still perfectly possible to add a speaker to this loco as well with the 21-pin socket as designed.
So while physically nothing has changed apart from the electrics inside, can you tell us a bit more about the model itself?
Yeah, so it's got a 5-pole motor in the centre, it's got the twin flywheels, it's got, like I said, a 21-pin decoder socket, working directional lights as well, and actually that is another improvement actually that's come with this as well. So the older versions of this used to have a spring contact mechanism for connecting to the lights at each end of it underneath the cab floors. They can be sometimes a little bit tricky. Once you've taken the body off a couple of times, they didn't always quite make perfect contact. And what they've done here is they've changed all that, so it's now got a 5-pin plug-in socket in there, which is permanently attached. Well, I'd say permanently attached, you can detach it, but it comes attached to the loco when you buy it, so that actually you've got a permanent and more robust way of getting power from the circuit board to the lights as well, which is a good thing. So you've also got all the classic hallmarks like you'd expect from a big diesel like this. You've got the sprung buffers, you've got turn metal wheels, all-wheel pickup, all-wheel drive, and you've got NEM coupling pockets at front and rear as well, plus an accessory pack with all the parts you'd want to fit onto the buffer beams as well.
So tell us a bit more about the class itself, if you can tell us a bit more about its history, and then who would this model suit?
Right, so the first Class 56 was built in 1976, and the first batch of, I think it was 30, were completed in Romania, Electropiter, and then from 56031 onwards they were built at Doncaster Works, and then the final batch were built in Crewe Works, so the later numbered ones. 56047 is one of the early Doncaster built ones, so it's still got the half-height horn grill on the front of it, whereas the later Doncaster locos had the full-height horn grill on them. And other little details like it's got the black surrounded high-intensity light at the centre of the cab, and also the shape of the bottom of the cab is a Doncaster built version as well. This was a really nice details on this as well, actually. We can take a closer look at this. Considering how old this model is, how many separate etched brass parts there are on this model as well. So roof fan grills are etched brass separate parts, same with the cant rail grills and the body side grills as well, and even the step treads on the bogie side frames, they're still separate etched metal parts, and each one of the bogie actuator hoops, brake actuator hoops, sorry, they're all separate parts as well. So there's lots of separate pieces on this, plus you've got sprung opening cab doors as well.
It's very classic from Hornby, that.
It is.
And of course we're pulling a rake of HAs around the layout today, so I presume they worked in the coal industry.
Yes, they were nicknamed grids for a reason, so they provided all the coal trains to the national grid. So these locomotives were synonymous with these HAA coal trains from their introduction in 1976. But they were also seen on things like steel trains and fuel trains as well, so they spread their wings outside of coal traffic. But this is classic Class 56 territory in the West Riding, pulling big long rakes of 35 wagons of HAAs, taking coal to the power stations.
I always remember the iconic scream as they hurled up with the spooled up with the full loads behind them.
Yeah, fantastic V16 turbo sounds. Yes.
So coming back to the model, price and availability.
Right, so this loco is available now from Hornby stockists, and it's priced at £217.99. And both 56047 and another one are available as well. There's also 56086 available, which is in BR large logo blue livery as well. So a couple of choices on the new version of the Class 56 to add to your BR blue and large logo blue era layouts.
And of course, it's been reviewed within Hornby magazine in full. So where can people see that?
That's right, indeed. So our full review of this new edition is in the latest issue of Hornby magazine. That's issue 186, our December 2022 issue, where you can read more about this model.
Wonderful. And of course, you'll be able to see even more class history on keymodelworld.com. But I think that brings us nicely to the end of yet another video. So thank you very much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye for now.